Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, I am back from vacation. Wow. So if you might recall, Thursday, there was no episode, no video on Thursday. Bourbon Judge was on vacation. Actually, technically, I did put out a video, but that was for my patrons only, so they had a chance to view that one, and that one actually even included Cousin Anita. Fun little episode. But I didn't produce one for the channel, if you will. So we're back at it again. Had a great time on vacation. Went to the Outer Banks with the family. Unfortunately, North Carolina was not good to the Bourbon Judge in terms of hunting. I only found one bottle, and that was actually from a local distillery. I'll include a picture as well. Really cool story. But and I've actually had this bourbon before, Conviction Bourbon. I do enjoy it. Good local distillery, and I will say, if you ever get down to whatever state you might visit, do check out some of the smaller, more local craft distilleries. They actually do a really good job of making their own stuff. So, give shout out to Conviction. But unfortunately, other than that, Bourbon just really didn't come away with any jewels. It was not about the bourbon time on vacation. It was about the family time. So, hey, I'm back at it, right? All right. Also, I should say, on the last episode, my 150th episode, thanks for all the love, all the support, all the comments. There is a prize, so we got to get to the prize, which we'll do that at the end of this episode. I've already keyed in, I think there was over 100 names of everyone who commented before Wednesday, this past Wednesday at noon was entered. So there was over 100 people. So my fingers were keying yesterday, and they were keying hard. So got it queued up to select the winner, and we'll see who wins. But before we get started with Starlight Distillery, I need to give a quick shout out to 3 people. So 3 new patrons that have joined the Bourbon Judge, and I do appreciate their support. So shout out to Caleb, Troy, and Robert. Caleb, Troy, Robert, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the support, and thanks for the support for all my patrons as well as everyone who watches the channel. All right, folks. Starlight Distillery. So I've been hearing a lot about Starlight Distillery, primarily from my man Blake, who watches the channel. Blake Naylor, a good friend, good guy. He is a Starlight fan. I mean, my man loves some Starlight. He has 15, 20 bottles of Starlight by itself. So I was like, all right, if you love it that much, I need to at least find one bottle and give it a try and put it on the channel. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Let me let you guys see this bottle real quick, just so you can see. Now this is a store pick, but this is Starlight. This is the sherry cast finish. So the story goes, as it says here, the name on the front, Starlight Distillery, Carl T. Huber. So Carl T. Huber was the 4th generation of the Huber family. They're actually farmers in the state of Indiana. So he was the 4th generation, but his grandsons, the 6th generations, you have Greg and Ted Huber. They're the 6th generation. They're the ones that really started the whole bourbon and the wine, producing wine and bourbon, right? But when you think about the family as a whole, so Indiana-based farming goes back all the way to the 1800s, right? They named, Greg and Ted named the Starlight Distillery after their grandfather, Carl T. Huber, who was the 4th. So Carl loved bourbon, and I mean he loved bourbon. So when they started making wine in the late 70s, they're like, you know what? Down the road, let's start making some whiskey. They did about 10 plus years ago or so. They started to make actually whiskey, bourbon, and rye as well, and named it after their grandfather, Carl T. Huber, right? So that's the story. I know you might be saying to yourself, wow, Indiana-based Bourbon Judge, are you sure it's not MGP? Folks, I can guarantee you, it's not MGP. I'm going to go ahead and pour this real quick. I know it's hard. Every time you hear Indiana, everyone just assumes MGP, but they are not MGP. They actually have their own distillery. I'll put their link above. They make wine, they make bourbons, they make ryes, a whole bunch of other different spirits as well. They make a lot of different stuff, and I mean a lot. And when you think about from a bourbon standpoint, they make standard, your small batch. They have this one here, which is a sherry finish. They have a honey barrel finish, a cigar blend. They make a bunch of different versions, right? So that's the cool thing about Starlight. And they're actually starting to kind of grow. So I primarily in the Northeast have only seen the sherry finish at several different stores, as well as the small batch. But when I travel, so forth with the family, I've seen other, I've seen the rye in some places. I've seen the honey in one spot. I should have grabbed that, but hey, I didn't know about it until Blake told me about it. So too late now. Now it's gone, right? So it is what it is. But this is a store pick. I will say that as well. So I got this for you think go back. I think this was like $60 or $65. I got this down in Florida again at a phenomenal liquor store in Florida. Truly one of the best I've seen, you know, hands down in the state of Florida. So this is aged 5 years. Let you guys see that bottle. So it's aged 5 years. The mash bill comes in at 58% corn, 27% rye, and 15% malted barley. So that's the mash bill. And I will say, the cool thing about it is that typically their small batches age 4 years, but a lot of their store picks, from what I've seen personally, are typically aged, in this case, same as mine, aged 5 years. And then it's aged an additional, in this case for the sherry cask, an additional 8 months in the Oloroso sherry cask, right? So that's this one here. Let me get into this nose real quick. So slightly, oh, the nose is phenomenal, by the way. Slightly hard to find, but definitely reasonably priced, right? $60, $65, not bad. Depending on where you're at, you might have a hard time finding it. This might be one of those situations where if you want to give it a shot, you may have to reach out to a good friend in a different state, cousin, family member, say, hey, hook me up. I need some bourbon. And hopefully they'll hook you up and ship you out a bottle. Trust me, if I want that cigar blend, I might be reaching out to my man Blake and saying, Blake, hook the Bourbon Judge up. I'll hit you up via PayPal or Venmo. All right, folks, this nose is wonderful. I will say for a 5-year aged bourbon and then age an additional 8 months in the Sherry Oloroso Sherry Cask finish, the nose on this is wonderful. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like a combination of your traditional like bourbon notes, like your caramel vanilla, but then it mixes in like some raisins, some grapes, some blackberries. Oh my gosh, the nose is wonderful, and I mean wonderful. Oh, I didn't even give you guys the proof. The proof on this one is 109.2. Remember, every store pick that you might get, because typically I've seen their small batch is a small batch, right? But most of like the sherry cask or the honey, they're always typically store finishes, store picks, right? So the proof will vary obviously by whichever store you go to. This one here is 109.2. I've seen a different version up in New Jersey that was like 112 or 113 proof, so it's always going to vary. But my bottle is 109.2 proof. I gotta get back to this nose, I'm sorry. This thing is delicious. Oh my gosh, this nose is just like, wow, wonderful. Wonderful. Oh my. Wow. Damn. Well, folks, as we say, we didn't come here to smell bourbon. We came here to sip bourbon. Hey, real quick, peace, cheers, salute. I appreciate everyone out there. Thank you for all the love, all the support. And as I always say, I do need 3 quick, small, easy favors. Number 1, please hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let's go back and forth. I love going back and forth. I do my best to try to reply to each and every comment. I really do. I may miss 1 or 2 here and there, but I do my best. And last but not least, please make sure you also hit the subscribe button so that whenever I put out new content, you get a quick notification. Cheers, everyone. Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold back. Give me 1 more second before I kind of get into the palate and the finish. Let me get a little bit more. You know, I never leave bourbon in the glass. Ooh. Wow. All right. So I will say, good thing about this bourbon, number 1. Everything from the nose transfers to the palate, every single step of the way. And what I liked about it is that it's a great combination of the bourbon. You know, sometimes like finished bourbons, they're almost like overpowered. Like the port finish or a sherry finish might overpower the bourbon. In this case, that's the complete opposite. Everything is folded in very natural into the bourbon. The caramel and the vanilla, the traditional bourbon notes, that's all folded in with like the raisins, some grapes, like some strawberries, some blackberries, all folded in very, very well. And even though it has a high rye content, it's not too peppery actually. And from a palate standpoint, nice, bold, flavorful, and a very nice long finish. Folks, as you say in the bourbon world, Bourbon Judge, is Starlight worth hunting? Is it, if I do find it, do I buy it? Do I leave it on the shelf? Folks, the verdict is in. This is an absolute buy. This was amazing. Amazing. Seriously, this was flat out amazing. So Blake, I owe it to you, my man. You guys can probably tell I like the hell out of this bottle. Again, shout out to Sarasota Liquor Locker, which is where I got this from. I'm telling you, the best liquor store by far in Florida that I've been to. Sarasota Liquor Locker, where I got this from. Brock, the owner, super cool guy, just so you guys know. Brock, you are picking some fantastic barrels, my friend. That is just ridiculously good. Seriously, ridiculously good. All right, folks. Now it's time to announce the winner of the contest. All right, hold on. Slide the gavel over. I got all the names here, just so you guys can see. I'm gonna zoom in as well, so you can see here. Hold on. If I go in here, I'm not gonna go through every name, but Ron G, Vegas Art, Carino, Kirk Good, Christian P. There's hundreds of names. Oh my gosh. Mojo, H. Lee, Stephen O, Derek, tons and tons. All right, let's pick a random winner. All right, there we go. Winner is, let's scroll up. I'll let you guys see it. Read that name. K. Banks. Shout out and congrats to K. Banks. Actually, K. Banks has been watching the channel for a long time, so it's super cool. Congrats to you, K. Banks. Hit me up via my email address, which is in the body of this, in the description of this video. K. Banks, hit me up, and we'll exchange contact information. I'll get these glasses out to you. So congrats to K. Banks, who won a set of the Bourbon Judge Mini Glens. Hey, everyone. Peace, cheers, salute. I appreciate everyone out there. Talk to you guys soon. Later.